check it out. First of all, guys, just to talk a little bit about what we talked about in the last video, you want to measure your rope properly. So just a rule of thumb, when you're measuring your rope or when you're picking it, I want you to step in the middle of it like you see here, pull it up to the sides, like right under your armpit, and the rope cable should actually be right around the nipple area, the upper chest area. This is a rule of thumb. You want to pick a rope that is 3 feet taller than your height. So I'm 6'3", so every rope that I use is right around 9 feet 3 inches. As you can see here, as I'm just doing regular bounce, I'm up on my toes. My feet are not coming more than an inch or two off the ground. My knees are bent slightly, cushioning my impact so my joints don't get hurt. My elbows are in, and my hands are jutting out to the sides of my hips, and my wrists are controlling everything. Now, a mistake that most people make when starting out that we get a lot of feedback about is they do 2 jumps, as you see here, for every time the rope swings around. I want you guys to get rid of this mentality and start. It's the easier way to jump rope, but it's not the correct way. And if you start off doing that, it's gonna be a lot harder to get yourself into just doing 1 skip for every rope turn. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is start off by just hopping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and get that consistent rhythm down and get used to counting, and then envision the rope spinning 1 time underneath you every time you do that. Now that brings me to my next point, guys. This might seem a little bit difficult at first, but let's incorporate the rope, and all I want you guys to do is practice swinging through 1 time and then stopping. So if you notice here, I'm just putting the rope behind my back, swinging it once underneath my legs, counting 1 and stopping, and then I'm resetting and I'm doing that again. All right, good. Now that we have that, let's move up to 2 times. So just keep the rope steady and then go 1, 2. As you can see here, I'll give you guys a little bit of time to get this down. And as you see here, I'm just going 1, 2, and then stopping. 1, 2, and then stopping. Good, guys. Now I want you to move up to 3. 1, 2, 3, and stop. 1, 2, 3, and stop. What this is doing is training your mind to always associate 1 rope skip with 1 time jumping your feet instead of 2 times jumping your feet. And this is essential if you want to spin the rope fast, if you want to be able to do a lot of tricks, and just overall, you know, look like a ninja. The next thing I want you guys to focus on is jumping only 1 to 2 inches off the ground. A lot of people, when they first start out jumping rope, is they jump too high off the ground, and this causes shin splints, it causes aches and pain in their knees and ankles, and it's just unnecessary, guys. If you jump rope correctly, it is a low impact sport or exercise that is actually better for you than jogging. So guys, the only trick where we're jumping higher off the ground is really the double under, or any trick where you're swinging the rope more than 1 time through in 1 hop. So for everything else, most tricks included, you're just gonna be coming 2 inches off the ground at most, maybe a little bit higher sometimes as you watch me here, but you want to maintain those bent knees and just cushioning every single hop that you have so you can jump rope for longer periods of time without any pain. So guys, I want to talk about your arms. Now, a lot of people, when they start out jumping rope, they have these very stiff arms, as you can see here in this footage, and what this does is it does not allow the rope to be tight when spinning around them, so they're really working their shoulders super hard, but the problem is there's no forearm or wrist action, so the rope is not spinning around tight. An analogy that I like to use is, think of a baseball player. If there's a pitcher and he has a ball like this and he's throwing it with a straight arm, first of all, he's not going to be able to throw it that hard, and he's probably not going to have that much accuracy, as opposed to if he winds up like this and coils it and kind of spins his arm around and throw it. You can throw it much faster if you bend your arm. The same applies to jumping rope. You're not going to be able to spin the rope fast and keep it tight if your arms are super stiff like this. You need to make sure you're getting in proper arm motion with your forearms. So keep the elbows in, let the forearms and the wrists do everything. They're gonna make sure that the rope stays tight as it spins around, which will allow you to go faster and do more tricks. Which brings me to the wrists. The most important part that anyone can focus on when jumping rope as a beginner is your wrist. Now, if I turn to the side angle here, you can see this little range of motion going on with my wrists. Just pretend that my wrist socket right here is just a ball bearing, and that is swinging the rope around. That's how you keep it tight, and that's how, if you notice here in this footage, it looks like I'm pretty effortlessly spinning the rope super fast. It's all my wrists. I'm treating my wrist just like a ball bearing while slightly bending my arms at 90-degree angles to keep the rope tight. Putting all this together, when you start out practicing, I think it's super important for beginners not to go 5 to 6 times a week like Brandon and myself do now, and like many of our other advanced jump ropers do. I'd recommend, like I said, starting out with the 4-week challenge and just doing 2 to 3 workouts per week and having at least 1, maybe 2 rest days in between your workouts to save your body from the pain or some of the shin splints and aches that can come along when you're starting to jump.